Whether you're self-releasing on SoundCloud or just tossing your music through DistroKid onto Spotify, there's a better way to do it. The days of just self-releasing are over. How can I be sure? Well, we've compiled all the stats from our school the past 10 years, and we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of records for hundreds of artists. And the data is shocking. Let me explain what's going on and what you're going to do instead. If you don't know, I'm Justin. I run Cosmic Academy. We're an artist development school, and we've been around for over 10 years now. We've worked with over 700 incredible artists, and these artists, they get the best results. They sign to the biggest labels: Toolroom, Armada, Anjuna, Monstercat, to play the biggest shows. Every year, we have multiple students playing EDC, Ultra, Electric Zoo. They tour all over the country, and these results are not gotten from self-releasing. We're going to talk about some of these situations, and self-releasing is just not getting results anymore. And there's a few reasons for this, and there's a better way. But first, and you hit that like button really hard, I don't know what it does. Recently, I was told that hitting the like button, it helps polar bears learn how to ice skate. You know, these polar bears, they're up there. They're down in the South Pole, in the North Pole, and they're bored. They're trying to do something, and they're sliding on the ice. They're crawling on the ice, but they want to skate on the ice. They want to play some ice hockey. They want to do some figure skating. So help the polar bears get some ice skates. Smash that like button. So self-releasing does not get the results anymore. Why? Well, the first reason is anyone can do it. Is it a good thing or a bad thing that literally anyone can put their music on Spotify? Well, it's nice that everyone gets to be there, but it's not great because it does water down everyone else. Beginners are self-releasing. People that have no idea what they're doing are self-releasing. There's nothing stopping me from just farting in a microphone and putting it on Spotify next to your self-release song. Now, why does that matter to you? Well, talent buyers, A&Rs, potential collaborators, any of them can see that you're self-releasing. They go to the three dots next to your track, they click on it, and they see that you're self-releasing the song. And they're going to ask themselves, why couldn't they get this on a label? Did they have to self-release? Was it just not good enough? And then maybe they assume that there's an issue, which brings me to problem number 2. Self-releasing does not prove anything. There's a quote I love from Training Day. Denzel Washington says, "It's not what you know, it's what you can prove." And I speak to so many applicants that try to come to our school, and they tell me, oh, I know I'm so good, I know I'm so good, I know I'm really good. But then I check their Spotify, I click on the three dots, and I just see they're self-releasing. Now, if they were really good, wouldn't they be getting on labels? Proving that your stuff is good, that's what a label can do. Because in order to get on a label, you have to convince a professional company to give you a contract for your work. You're literally being contracted professionally for your music. That proves something. You're doing it for real now. You're not just an amateur. And listen, it's hard. I get it. It's really hard. Not everyone does it, but that's the point. It separates you from all that fluff. And this is extremely important. I'm sure you know plenty of people who claim to be really good at something or they know something really well, but they got to prove it. They have to be able to prove that thing. If I tell you that my student got on Spinnin or Armada or Anjuna or Toolroom or any of the labels they get on, you're immediately going to say they must be pretty good. But then there's a lot of producers that just aren't there yet and they get rejected by labels. And deep, deep, deep down, they know the truth. The truth is their music just isn't there yet. Maybe their brand isn't there yet. So they self-release. And that brings me to problem number 3. Problem number 3 was self-releasing. You get comfortable with it and there's no growth. So many producers feel pressured, after 3 months of producing, 5 months, 6 months of producing, I have to start putting out music. And honestly, they're not really ready, but they put it out anyway. And then there's no barrier to entry. They can just do it. They don't have to strive for something great. Your stuff has to be a certain quality to get on a good label. There's a really big barrier to entry to get on that label. But if you get comfortable knowing, I can just put out anything, I can just self-release anything, that causes you to halt your progress. My students that are signing to labels, they work harder and harder and harder. They know that next label they want to get on, they're gonna have to push themselves. That label demands a certain quality. And then they start playing a completely different game than the people that are just self-releasing. And it sets them on such a higher trajectory. And by the way, if you're looking for a great program or a mentor where you're signing records to labels, where you're getting your music to that quality, you're learning the branding and all that great stuff, I put a link below in the comments. Apply to our program. We're always looking for great applicants. The next problem with self-releasing. Problem number 4. Self-releasing means you're going to do it all on your own and there's no further opportunities. Even if you sign to a tiny label, they do take some of the work off your plate. They might even be able to open up some doors and opportunities for you. Maybe they're going to help you get the song supported by other DJs. They'll help you get on blogs. They'll help making the cover art, other music video, or some of the marketing. My students, when they sign to some of these labels, the labels help them get on gigs. They help them get on the radio radio shows. They help them get vocalists or other collaborators. If you're self-releasing, you got to do all that on your own. You got to do all the marketing, all the PR, all the social media, everything. And sure, not every label is going to like put you on a tour, but at least they'll do a little bit to help you. And yes, we have to say it, the labels do take some of the money, but this isn't about making all the money off the record. Unless you're Drake or like a pop star, this kind of music doesn't really make money. You're going to make money off the shows. And as you know, what helps getting you on shows? Signing to reputable labels. All of our students who are currently playing shows, all of our students who are getting on tours and playing festivals, they all have this one thing in common. They're all signing to record labels. Bexy just went on tour with Seven Lions. That was through the Ophelia record label. Nostalgics just played the sold-out show at Red Rocks. That was because of her signings on the Deadbeats record label. Charles D went on tour with Eric Prydz because he was signing music to his label, Prida. Taylor Torrance, who's doing certain deals and working with certain vocalists that he wants to, that's being helped out by the label he was signing to, Enhanced. None of that would have been happening if they were self-releasing. And I get it. People are still going to do it. They're still going to self-release. And people will still come to me, give me all these examples of artists that made it from self-releasing. But let me push back on that. Just think about it for a second. How many successful artists are completely self-released? Like how many actually did it without never having to use the labels? People say like, oh, Chance the Rapper started on SoundCloud. First of all, that was like 15 years ago. Second thing is he eventually ended up wanting to sign to a label. But really think about it. Can you name me 20 really big artists that have exclusively been self-released? Can you even name me 15? And if you could, that's fine, but just realize that 99.9999% of every other artist in the history of the world use the label system. That's where we see the best results, and it's not even close. And it's okay if you're not there yet. The music and the brand, that has to be there first. And as I said before, if you want help on that, apply to our program. Work with other programs. You know, there's ways to get better, but you have to push yourself. And if you want to keep self-educating, that's totally cool too. I'm actually going to put up a video right here. It's a really great video on getting that music side to the next level, getting it to the point where you could be label ready. So go watch that next, and we'll see you in there.